Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into some really fascinating parts of Revelation. We're talking chapters 7, 14, and 15, thinking about that mysterious group, the 144,000, and how they connect to being firstfruits, martyrs, and what it all tells us about the bigger story.
Absolutely. Our goal here is really to, unpack these quite complex ideas. We want to get a handle on who these people are, what they're doing, and why their story is so important for understanding faith, hard times, and ultimately God's victory.
Right. So what do these numbers, these images mean for you? How does it all fit together? Let's dive in.
Okay, so let's start right there. A big question from our sources is, are the 144,000 in chapter 7 and chapter 14 the same people? And the material we looked at seems pretty clear on this. Yes, it's pointing to the same group.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus in these sources. But what's really interesting is the debate about who they are. Chapter 7 lists 12,000 from each Israelite tribe. Now, some take that literally bloodline Israel. But the view presented in our sources is different. It suggests this represents spiritual Israel. Spiritual Israel. So what does that mean exactly?
It broadens it out. It's talking about all the faithful saints, particularly, it seems, those living through that final period, the last 1 week, what's often called the Great Tribulation.
Okay, so the idea is that physical Israel was like a blueprint, a starting point.
Sort of, yeah. The foundational people Messiah came through, paving the way for this wider spiritual family. It shows how God's plan expands,
Got it. And these 144,000 are called firstfruits. What's the significance of that term?
Well, it's quite specific. The sources describe them as people redeemed from among humanity, the last firstfruits. Think of it like the very best, the initial offering of a harvest consecrated to God. They're presented as this pioneering group, set apart right near the end.
A pioneering group. Okay, and it gets deeper, right? They have this distinctive seal on their foreheads, the name of the Lamb and the Father. Our sources suggest this name is likely Jesus. What's the deal with this seal? What does it signify?
The seal. It's packed with meaning. Our sources connected to a few things. Definitely God's ownership, like saying, this one is mine. Also the presence of the Holy Spirit inside them. And maybe most crucially, a deep commitment to turn away from evil.
Turning from evil.
Yeah, it echoes Ezekiel 9, where those grieving over sin were marked for protection. So it's not just passive. It's about identity, protection, and purpose, empowering them for what's next.
And what is next for them is pretty intense. Our sources make a really bold connection, equating the 144,000 with the two witnesses. How does that link work?
That's a major point in the material, yes.
Yeah.
These two witnesses are, a powerful prophetic team. They're described as proclaiming the eternal gospel for 1,260 days, which the sources place squarely in the first half of that last 1 week during the beast's initial period of power.
Okay, so their mission is active witnessing during that tough time.
Exactly. Warning people not to worship the beast. Offering protection, spiritual protection at least, for the faithful. It's important here the sources note that saints go through this first half, but are then resurrected or transformed before the second half, which is when the 7 plagues hit.
Right, so they endure, but they're spared the final judgments. So, sealed, witnessing, facing tribulation. But their story doesn't end in suffering, does it? It leads to victory.
Definitely not. The sources show them as a key part of this much larger group, martyrs from different times who overcome the beast. All these faithful ones, including that huge, innumerable multitude from Revelation 7 who come out of the Great Tribulation, they share in the first resurrection.
The first resurrection. And they're pictured standing on a glass sea, singing a special song.
Yeah, the glass sea symbolizing, perhaps, perfect purity, God's holiness, a place of victory. And they sing the song of Moses and the Lamb, a song of deliverance and triumph.
Which brings us to a crucial point for you, the listener, to think about. Why is this first resurrection presented as so incredibly important in this narrative?
Our sources really frame it as the ultimate answer, the final proof. It demonstrates undeniably that God's commandments can be kept, even if it costs your life. This act of faithfulness isn't just personal. It vindicates God's character, his love, his justice before the entire universe, angels included. It's like the purpose of creation reaching its fulfillment.
Wow. That's a powerful statement. And these resurrected ones reign with God.
For 1,000 years, yes. Serving him directly, no more hunger, thirst, or sorrow. Complete restoration and purpose.
So putting it all together, these chapters give us this incredibly detailed picture. The 144,000 aren't isolated. They're central figures in a vast company of witnesses playing this vital role in a huge cosmic story.
Exactly. Their journey sealed, witnessing, resurrected, singing. It's more than just future prediction. It's presented as this profound declaration of truth, of divine justice finally revealed through unwavering faithfulness.
It really makes you think. As you reflect on this deep dive, maybe consider what commitments, what personal seals are you carrying right now? And how might your own faithfulness, your perseverance through challenges be part of a much larger story of truth unfolding?